The Laughing Cavalier by Baroness Orczy. The Prologue. Haarlem, March 29, 1623. The day had been spring-like, even hot, a very unusual occurrence in Holland at this time of year. Gilda Beresteyn had retired early to her room. She had dismissed Maria, whose chatterings grated upon her nerves, with the promise that she would call her later. Maria had arranged a tray of dainties on the table, a jug of milk, some fresh white bread and a little roast meat on a plate, for Gilda had eaten very little supper, and it might happen that she would feel hungry later on. It would have been useless to argue with the old woman about this matter. She considered Gilda's health to be under her own special charge, ever since good Mevrouw Beresteyn had placed her baby girl in Maria's strong, devoted arms ere she closed her eyes in the last long sleep. Gilda Beresteyn, glad to be alone, threw open the casement of the window and peered out into the night. The shadow of the terrible tragedy, the concluding acts of which were being enacted day by day in the Gevangen Poort of S. Gravenhage, had even touched the distant city of Haarlem with its gloom. The eldest son of John of Barneveld was awaiting final trial and inevitable condemnation. His brother Stoutenburg was a fugitive, and their accomplices Korenwinder, Van Dyck, the redoubtable Slacius, and others were giving away under torture the details of the aborted conspiracy against the life of Maurice of Nassau, Stadtholder of Holland, Gelderland, Utrecht, and Overijssel, Captain and Admiral General of the State, Prince of Orange, and virtual ruler of Protestant and Republican Netherlands. Traitors, all of them, would be assassins. The stadtholder whom they had planned to murder was showing them no mercy. As he had sent John of Barneveld to the scaffold to assuage his own thirst for supreme power and satisfy his own ambitions, so he was ready to send John of Barneveld's sons to death and John of Barneveld's widow to sorrow and loneliness. The sons of John of Barneveld had planned to avenge their father's death by the committal of a cruel and dastardly murder. Fate and the treachery of mercenary accomplices had intervened, and now Groeneveld was on the eve of condemnation, and Stoutenburg was a wanderer on the face of the earth with a price put upon his head. Gilda Beresteyn could not endure the thought of it all. All the memories of her childhood were linked with the Barnevelds. Stoutenburg had been her brother Nicolaes' most intimate friend, and had been the first man to whisper words of love in her ears, ere his boundless ambition and his unscrupulous egoism drove him into another more profitable marriage. Gilda's face flamed up with shame even now at recollection.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?